welcome back. Today is Tuesday, the 7th of May, 2024. This is what we had last time, so I'll just reset the chat. Alright, so quickly let's do a quick run on this. We always start from the monthly, if you remember, look at what the candlesticks have been like for the month. We had when in a pullback on the monthly, but it's we're not swing traders, so we're not taking much look at this. We can only look at what have happened in the previous month, which was bearish, right? So two things we're expecting. We're either expecting this to go bullish on the long term. I'm surprised I never fibbed the monthly. Surprised I never fibbed it. So yes, this is what I just realized. The monthly is saying this, but notwithstanding, it's quite funny. So let's just go to the weekly, right? Let's go to the weekly. Well, on the weekly, yeah, we're in a downtrend on the weekly, so it's kind of dicey. So let's not just get carried away on the monthly. It takes a lot for you to determine whether you're bearish or bullish, right? For the weekly, it's easier for us to do, right? Because if we fib the last swing that has a pullback, you would say this is easier to actually call out in terms of this. Yeah, you've rejected the 61.8, right? And we need to have our AB equals CD pattern where you have this guy and you have this guy has to be completed, right? So that's why we don't really look at the monthly, right? And after the last swing, which is this guy, we've broken structure, right? This guy has not been broken to the upside, so that's why we said we're in a downtrend. This last lower low has been broken, right? This guy last lower high has not been broken, so we can say we're in a downtrend, and we're expecting to complete this AB equals what CD pattern before we can talk about a change of structure. So currently you might be saying, oh, but price is currently going up. Yes, price is currently going up because we have to fib this guy too for the process to continue. Price will not just keep going down. So currently we have only fibbed the equilibrium point. We have not picked discount price. Discount price meaning 61.8 or 78.6, which is premium. So the last swing has not been properly fibbed, which is what we are looking at price might do this week, hopefully, right? So we're on downtrend on the weekly. Let's not forget that we're on a downtrend on the weekly. And that being said, we do what we usually do. We draw our last high and our last low. Let's not forget that. Then going to mark our weekly fib that we're heading towards and move on. So now we're on the daily, right? But the daily is somehow looking it's not bearish. Actually, it's bullish because we have a kind of a mini structure, even though this was not really valid, but we have a mini structure here, right? You will see this better in the 4 hour where price had tried to do a little correction but it failed and just did candlestick sideways and before it made a strong move up. So on the daily, are we bullish? We can't really say because we've not had any proper swing here, right? We've not had any proper retracements to say whether we are in a bearish. But mere looking at it, we would say that we are bullish because I mean we've been going up, attempts to calm down, but bullish pressure has still been in control. So what do we do here again? We still identify our last swings for the daily. This would still be our swing on the daily, and this would be the this would be the lower low for the daily, and this would be the lower high, which still means that we are in a downtrend, right? We're talking about the overall, which is this guy to this guy. So you can see this guy has completed his AB equals CD, right? So for him, a lot can happen. This guy completed his AB equals CD. Unlike the weekly that hasn't, so that's why we said we're still bearish on the weekly. So, but what is going on here? If we readjust this guy to our last daily swing, you see that it has fibbed the 61.8, right? So we can expect some kind of major pullback, right? You can expect some kind of major pullback for price to get to this point, but it's not quite there yet. Why? Because we have, oh, it's quite there, but not quite there. This is why I say it's quite there. This is what we have on the daily. I don't know. I know we didn't do the weekly, but this is what we have on the. Oh, this is we have this downtrend line on the daily, which is on the weekly, on the daily. Sorry, yes, on the daily. We missed the weekly on, but I'm going to go back to it shortly. We have this downtrend on the daily, which still says that we are what? Which still says we are bearish. Then we also have another one on the weekly. But remember, our overall target is to get to this what? Weekly 61.8 before we continue the overall move to the downside, right? So, yes, did we reject this daily trend line? Yes, we did. So that is a turnaround on the daily. But remember, the higher time frame will always carry the what? The larger bias or the overall bias, right? It has more effect looking at the long term outlook than just the daily. The daily might be done in 2 3 days, but the weekly would take like 2 weeks, which is about five, five sorry 5 to 10 trading days, 10 trading days. So overall, price might be doing all that, but we're not here to do a weekly analysis. We're here to do a daily analysis. So we'll just let that slide. Right, so we're not going to consider the weekly today. We're going to consider just a daily trend line that has been rejected, which means it's going to take a lot to any move up would mean that it's trying to break it, right? Would mean that it's trying to break this trend line to get to this point, and to take a lot of bullish pressure to to get there, which we are looking at has died down after last week's NFP news. So remember, this is our weekly trend, which has not been price has not indicated this weekly trend line, but the daily trend and price has given it a touch as of last week. So what are we trying to say? Let's look at this guy again. So I remember I said we didn't have a correct, a good pullback or retracement on the daily. I'm talking about this series of candlesticks here, and so we can't really call it a pullback because just sideways movement with candles being bigger than the previous one. So it looks like it was actually pullback. We can't say, but we might see it in the 4 hour whether it's a pullback or not. What am I trying to say? So on the daily, we are still doing what we are expecting a pullback from this strong move up, right? Why am I saying that? Top of my head, right? Top of my head, this is a swing. Top of my head, should have been the pullback, but it's we already disguised himself. This should have been a pullback, right? So it's still safe to actually put this guy here. Now, our row AB equals what? AB equals CD. You would say that this guy's been completed. See that this guy's been completed. Let's just, you can see that the ABCD for the daily swing, the daily move has been completed. What were we expecting? So we're expecting a pullback at this point in time. As I told you, the weekly, we're expecting to do what? To get to this guy in the weekly, but it might take days. Days in the sense that we already have a strong move up which has completed the AB plus CD on the daily. We're expecting a what? A pullback, 61.8 pullback possibly. Let's see what this guy did. And he did a 61.8. Can you see it? Let me remove this one. So as I said, this would not ideally it's not really pullback, but you can't mistake that price has actually grabbed a lot of liquidity and done something to actually get to the 61.8 from this bullish move. Came back here, rejected the 61.8 of this overall daily one, and completed the CD. So you can't deny that this is a pullback. This is a pullback. So that being said, what are we expecting? Now we have another swing. I remember I said overall in the weekly, we are expecting price to get to this point. So what I'm expecting, right, is for this swing to have its own pullback, have its own pullback right about here, reject. This move is really steep. Reject, right, and do another AB called CD pattern to get to our weekly level. Remember, we are still doing this on the daily. Can you see that? Remember, we're still doing this on the what? On the daily. It would get to our weekly fib level because that's what we're looking at actually going to. But for now, price is going to come. It's going to do a pullback, which is phase C according to Photon. Right. So we're looking at this. Let's go out to the 4 hour and look at how this is going to have effects. So let's not forget. Let's just draw this one and I'm supposed to have labeled that guy. There's no need since it has been mitigated. So I wanted to mark the daily fib 61.6, but it has been mitigated already, so I don't think there's any need for that. So yes, this is what we said was not looking like a correction. It actually later became a correction. Yeah, so this is what we're looking at. We're looking at the move down to this area, back to this area, peak liquidity again, and before it does its final move up to break this trend line and respect the weekly. So, what does that mean? What that means is that we have this 4 hour trend line which can guide us to that point a bit. So we're expecting this to happen, right? So, but remember, in the 4 hour, we have our sensitive zones in our 4 hour. This can count as one of them. This is quite tricky because price did a lot of liquidity grab at this point. This is one of them. Also, why you so let us waste our right. So you can call this one of them too. We're supposed to do four. So let's leave it at this for now. Tomorrow, when price has made some kind of move, we'll pick out the remaining. So let's not forget where we're heading. We are heading. We are heading this way. We're heading this way. Let's not forget that. So let's go further down to the 1 hour. So in the 1 hour, we have this level. We have this level. We have what this level to points to react. So I think that's it, guys. So ideally, I would take this sell to sell other block because you can see the 1 hour. not supposed to show the 1 hour here. Can say the 1 hour, right? So what would make that make more sense is if price broke those guys on the 1 hour. On the 4 hour, it hasn't done anything yet, but neither has it broken its higher high, which means it just did a lower high. So we're expecting it to do a lower low to a higher high, right? And get back to this point. So let me, so I'm talking about, it does this, it does something like this, and it does something like this. So when I draw those things, I'm just doing, yeah, I'm not considering the, the inner movement. It does something like this, something like this. So each time I draw those things, know that their inner movement is not just going to do that one straight line kind of move. It's going to do, it's going to have its own inner movement before it gets to that point. So expecting something like this on the 1 hour actually, the 1 hour actually. So when I draw those things, I don't mean oh it's going to just do one candlestick down, one candlestick up. No, looking at talking about the overall move, overall idea of what is going to happen. So let's do that back. We have this, and we have this, but it's looking more like except forgotten why it's supposed to be safe. Anyways, we're expecting something like this. Equilibrium was 61.8 ish thereabout. Might just tweak it and come close back around this and all that stuff. But anyway, this is what we're expecting. This is what we're expecting. But don't forget that there are going to be what do you call these things? Structures, 1 hour structures. It's not just going to do a one candlestick here and one candlestick there. It's going to be 1 hour structures or 15-minute structures that would support that movement. So I think that's all we have for